the collector. From her hidden observation point, Detective Sara Reeves watched as Tobias Mercer delicately positioned the glass display case in his living room. Inside was what appeared to be an antique pocket watch. "That's 17, her partner whispered beside her. 17 disappearances over 3 years, each preceded by Mercer acquiring a new antique for his collection. No bodies found. No evidence left behind, just people who vanished from locked rooms and left all their belongings behind. Mercer himself was impeccable, wealthy from family money, respected in antiquarian circles, with no criminal record and an alibi for every disappearance. Yet Sarah's instincts told her he was responsible, though she couldn't explain how or why. Tonight was their last chance. Judge Woodson had reluctantly granted a 24-hour surveillance warrant based on circumstantial evidence, but without something concrete, Mercer would remain free. "He's moving," her partner said as Mercer checked his watch. A modern digital one, she noted, not an antique, and headed for the door. They followed at a discreet distance as Mercer drove to an upscale restaurant where he dined alone, reading a leather-bound book. Nothing unusual, nothing incriminating. "We're wasting our time," her partner grumbled. "The captain's gonna have our badges if we don't produce something solid." "He's hiding something," Sara insisted. "Nobody collects the exact items reported missing from the victims' homes before they disappeared. That's not coincidence." When Mercer drove home and retired for the night, they maintained their surveillance. Sara watched through binoculars as lights went out throughout the house. At precisely midnight, she noticed something strange. The display cases in Mercer's living room began to glow with a soft, pulsing light. "Are you seeing this?" she whispered. Before her partner could answer, Mercer appeared in the living room, though they hadn't seen him return downstairs. He moved from display case to display case, speaking words they couldn't hear through the window. "We need to get closer," Sara decided. "Protocol be damned." They approached the house cautiously. Through the window, they could see Mercer standing before the newest display case, his back to them. The pocket watch inside was hovering, unsupported, glowing with an inner light. Sara's partner drew his weapon. "Police! Freeze!" Mercer turned slowly, unsurprised. "Detectives, I've been expecting you." "Step away from the display," Sara ordered, her own weapon trained on him. "I'm afraid I can't do that," Mercer replied calmly. "The transition has already begun." The glow from the pocket watch intensified, casting Mercer's shadow against the far wall, except the shadow didn't match his form. It stretched and distorted, assuming a shape that was decidedly inhuman. "What the hell?" her partner gasped. "You misunderstand my collection," Mercer said, his voice gaining an odd resonance. "These aren't trophies of those I've taken. They're anchors for what I've found." The pocket watch was spinning now, faster and faster. The air around it shimmered like heat waves. "Each object has a history," Mercer continued. "Each has witnessed things beyond human understanding. I merely help them remember." Sara's partner moved forward, intent on arresting Mercer, but as he crossed the threshold into the living room, he froze mid-step. His expression shifted from determination to dawning horror as his skin began to shimmer with the same light as the artifacts. "Jenkins!" Sara shouted, but her partner didn't respond. Before her eyes, his form grew transparent, then flowed like water toward the pocket watch, compressing, changing, until there was nothing left but a new gleam on the watch's surface. 18, Mercer said softly. Sara fired, the sound deafening in the enclosed space. The bullet passed through Mercer as if he were made of smoke, shattering the display case behind him. The pocket watch fell to the carpet, its glow dimming. For an instant, the air where the bullet had passed through Mercer's chest shimmered, revealing something else inside him. Something composed of angles that hurt to look at, of darkness that seemed to absorb light. "That was unwise, Detective," Mercer said, his voice now layered with others. "You've damaged this vessel." Sara backed away as Mercer, or what wore Mercer's form, approached. The other display cases were glowing brighter now, their contents hovering, spinning. "What are you?" she managed to ask. "A collector, like your friend Tobias was, before I found him through that lovely Roman coin." The thing wearing Mercer's face smiled. "He sought objects that had witnessed history. I seek experiences I've never had." It gestured at the displays around the room. "Each of these witnessed a death. Each holds the final moments of someone's existence. Such powerful memories, such unique perspectives." Sara's back hit the wall. There was nowhere left to retreat. "I've experienced death 17 different ways through these vessels," Not Mercer said. "But I've never experienced it from the perspective of someone who understands what's happening. Someone with the clarity of a detective's mind." It reached for her, its fingers elongating impossibly, becoming transparent. In desperation, Sara lunged for the fallen pocket watch, remembering Mercer's words. Anchors. With all her strength, she smashed it against the floor. The scream that erupted from Not Mercer's mouth was unlike anything human. The air itself seemed to ripple and tear. From the shattered remains of the watch, a swirling mist emerged, coalescing into the transparent form of her partner, then solidifying further until Jenkins stood before her, disoriented but whole. One by one, the other display cases shattered spontaneously, releasing similar mists that became people, the missing victims, confused and frightened but alive. Mercer's body collapsed, empty now of whatever had inhabited it. The last thing Sara saw before the house itself began to crumble was the shadow on the wall, detaching itself, stretching upward, and fleeing through cracks in reality that sealed themselves behind it. Afterward, official reports listed the incident as a hostage situation resolved. Mercer was declared dead, his body buried with little ceremony. The recovered victims remembered nothing of their ordeal. Only Sara knows the truth. And at night, she can't help checking the shadows in her apartment, noting how sometimes they seem to move when they shouldn't, how they sometimes don't quite match the objects cast in them. Collecting works both ways, after all.